we defend it. It's more than colour. It's passion. It's pride. It's Pompey. And when we wear it, it's not just a kit. It's our armour. Fortress, our club, our colours.
Yes, we are back at the Fortress for the first time since May, and our first friendly game here for 3 years. The fans are out in force, but standing in Pompey's way of a flawless pre-season, the toughest competition yet, PEC Zwolle. So yes, good afternoon and a very big welcome back to the live matchday show on Pompey Plus. Wherever in the world you're watching us from, my name is George Wedlake and it's great to be with you this afternoon. If you are watching us on social media though, just a heads up, your coverage will end in about 30 minutes time, just less. So if you're hanging around for the game and for live coverage of the friendly and analysis, get yourself over to the Pompey website and secure a match pass. And alongside me, for the first time in 3 months, I'm really excited and delighted to welcome back Andy Orford and Mark Kelly. Hi guys.
George, good to see you. George, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. No texts, no calls. What's been going on?
No, I didn't send you flowers, chocolates, nothing. Sorry.
Good to be back though, right?
Can't wait. Been great back on the balcony, innit, Kel? Yeah, it is. Really good.
Yeah. It was nearly 3 months ago, Andy, we were sat here. We knew Pompey was safe for another season in the Championship. We'll talk about what that's going to bring shortly. But how good is a good pre-season, first and foremost? How important is that?
Yeah, pre-season you can take it two ways. Some clubs view it just on fitness and getting minutes in under people's bouts and trying to avoid injuries and stuff, and other clubs go full out for it and get fully prepped. I think what Pompey have done is a nice balance of that this year. I've seen plenty of minutes in the legs of players, good opposition that they've had as well. They've had Crawley and Reading, league opposition, they've had non-league, and it's been quite varied. Today's a different one as well. You know, you're going to come up against a team that's going to probably try and dominate the ball today. But I think it's important that we're at Fratton Park so that the new players get to experience Fratton Park as well.
Yeah, and the friendlies are important, aren't they, Mark? It's obviously playing time, a bit of a warm-up for the season ahead. But there's also been a rigorous training schedule as well. For instance, the training camp in Slovakia. How important is it to get the lads out there in that different kind of environment?
Yeah, I think you know, those little trips are just more important for if you're trying to create standards and get people to know you're away, there's no distractions, players have got their minds on what they're doing, they're also getting together, do you know what I mean, so they don't go home after the day. So, you know, it gives you plenty of opportunity, I think, to get the team bonded, get them together with no distractions, and that's basically what those trips are for.
And I think it poured with rain the entire week as well. So
just going to say, they wouldn't have liked seeing that running track around the outside of the pitch, would they, the boys?
But with the friendlies, Andy, you said there's been a real mixture, hasn't there? We played under 21s, we played teams that are non-league, we played League 1, League 2 opposition today, a team from Holland playing in the Eredivisie, their top flight. So how important is it to get that balance right in opposition?
Yeah, you want those tests, don't you? You know, and very early on in the pre-season games, it really is about getting minutes in bouts, 45, 60s. Today you might see a couple of 90s, and I expect the changes to come on the 70, 75 minute mark today to get the boys ready for next week away at Oxford. But in terms of the varied opposition, yeah, it's been a very, very good pre-season for Pompey in my opinion. Today's different, but if we look back at stats over last year, George, I don't think many times did Pompey dominate the ball too much in the Championship, and I think this year's going to be pretty much the same. The way the Dutch teams play, they want the ball, they'll play out from the back, so it'll be similar to what we're going to encounter next year in the Championship against majority of clubs, so it'll be a good test today.
Yeah, so let's have a look at some of the results from pre-season so far then. 6 games so far, Mark. Obviously the score lines aren't really important, but the good performances, that's what you want to see, isn't it?
Well, I think the most standout thing is the zeros on the defensive side, which is good because you know, we've got our centre halves back, and hopefully there's been a lot of competition this season, which we were missing last year. But no, listen, it's not about results, it's about getting what you need to do, get done in your legs. But listen, there's plenty of goals there, and I think there's plenty of, some of the new boys are on the score sheet through pre-season, so that helps them settle in. So it's a good, good cross breadth of what we needed to do. Goals scored, and obviously defensively we've done pretty well. So I'm sure they're pleased with it so far. But as Andy said, it's going to be a little bit more of an interesting one this afternoon.
Yeah, and 16 goals scored in pre-season so far as well. That can only be a good
it's
thing.
good numbers. Good numbers, and there's a lot of some of the new boys on score sheets, so it's great to see.
So plenty to come then before kickoff. A reminder, wherever you are in the world, kickoff time is 3 p.m. BST today, British summer time, so that is about 24 minutes from now. And if you're watching on social media, a reminder, you need to get yourself a match pass on the Pompey website so you can stick with us for the afternoon. Let's now focus on some of the fixtures coming up then. The season ahead is already just 1 week away. It comes round fast, doesn't it? The excitement, we remember it from last year, we've carried it on to this year too. Mark, I'm not going to use the word easier, but a slightly less intimidating start to the season than last year.
Totally. But as we said, we got through those early exchanges last year pretty well, to be fair. It was a difficult situation. So you're looking at games there that you think, they're winnable. We can get in and around it and get some points on the board early doors. So, I think the lads will be happy with those first open exchanges.
6 down from the top, Southampton versus Portsmouth, the first South Coast derby in a very, very long time.
Stop it, George, stop
Andy,
it.
how many of those have you been involved with over the years, and what do they sort of mean for everybody involved?
Believe it or not, I never ever played in an actual first team derby, but been involved in plenty from a coaching point of view, and obviously in the reserves and in the youth team. And the extra spice is unbelievable. Leading up to the games, you can't breathe. It's amazing, and all you're doing it for is the supporters. There's some supporters that would willingly get relegated this year just to win those 2 fixtures that we've got coming up, which I think's mad, but I understand it.
There will be some people out there.
Yeah, there are people like that, and it's absolutely crazy. But that game stands out. What stands out for me though, George, I remember our start last season, which was really, really intense, as you said. But I look at the home games that we've got coming up in the league. Norwich at home, Preston at home, Sheffield Wednesday at home, Watford at home are the first 4 league fixtures here. Our home form last year kept us up. So those 4 games, in my opinion, are all winnable. And we've got to take points out of those first 4 home games of the season. Big points.
And as we go into the new season, there's one thing that you've spotted that Pompey have a very unique distinction in. Do you want to talk us through that? Yeah, we were having a little look, me and our lovely producer Charlie, who did most of the work for this. I won't lie, I don't want to take all the credit. It wasn't you, Andy.
No, it was Charlie. So we've come up with a little bit of a stat, and if I just explain what's on the screen here, these are all the clubs that are currently in the Championship. And we were looking at the managers, and you know what it's like, the merry-go-round of managers. They all seem to move here, there and everywhere, and once one leaves, the next one comes in. But yeah, these are all the clubs currently in the Championship. Now we've moved to just the clubs who were with us last season and who are going to be with us this season as well. And believe it or not, there's only one club on that current sheet that is stayed with their manager, and that is Portsmouth with John Messino. And I think fair play to the club for sticking with him. I think fair play for John for sticking with us. And the one thing I would add is I think we're very, very lucky to have him, because I think he's a top guy, and I think he's also a very, very top manager. I think he's a good manager. And long may he stay, long may it continue. And there will be some tough times again this year. Stick with him. He'll bring us through the difficult times and get us back to the good times, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So it all kicks off properly then, just 1 week from today, but just one more game to go in a pre-season that's seen goals aplenty for Pompey. And if you've missed any of the action at all, here are just some of the highlights from pre-season so far.
Training hard, working hard. All the boys are quite tired, but I guess that's what pre-season's for. So it's been really good, yeah.
We've been together for 2.5 years. Having a bit of success, I think, really helps with that, and probably coming through the adversity that we came through last year really helps you to, I think, build that togetherness.
Players that can cope with those demands, players that are going to excite fans, players that are going to make us stronger, and trying to execute on things to make sure the players we come through make the group better.
and it's the right back, Jordan Williams. He got goal side of Jacobs inside the box. Ball's cut across perfectly and it's there, 2-0. This time it's Callum Lang. Cross comes in low, O'Connor can't get there. And Bishop gets his second of the afternoon.
Live coverage of very, very shortly. The team news is in, starting with the home team. Andy, what are we looking at there? A mixture of players old and new?
Yeah, obviously the back four picks itself. Jordan Williams, in my opinion, is our best right back. He starts. Connor again at left back. Did excellent last season and grew as the season went on. It's great to see the two centre halves, Regan and Shotnessy, out there together. John Swift, comes in for his Pompey debut, which is going to be great to see him. Sedgwick the same. The one that we're missing, George, is Colby Bishop, and we're a little bit unsure as to why. Maybe it's just a niggle and they're protecting him, and hopefully that is the case. But Waddenham will come and play up front, you would think, with Langy in behind him and Josh Murphy out wide. So not too many surprises, but I think you'll see a few changes on the 60-70 mark as well.
Yeah, as we know, this time last year there was a bit of a scare with Colby Bishop. Everything was okay and he played a lot of football following that, so maybe getting close to the season is best to protect someone like him, because he's an asset, isn't he, to say the least?
He's the main man. I said we wouldn't have stayed up without him last year. The impact he had when he came back into the team was immense. So if he has got a slight tweak or something, I'm sure John will confirm that after the game.
Yeah.
But if that is the case, wrap him up in cotton wool, get him ready for Oxford.
His replacement for the afternoon, Waddingham. We saw him from January when he signed. He already got a goal in the league straight away. He scored 3 in pre-season. It's a perfect opportunity for him today, isn't it, Mark, to show us what he can do?
Yeah, absolutely. It's to be honest, it's a really big platform for him, because those other games there might have been a bit lesser, but today if he can go out and stamp his authority on this kind of game, he's going to put some thoughts in the manager's head, and that's what he's got to go and do.
Yeah, and seeing Harry Clout in there as well on the bench. We'll talk about him in more detail shortly, but giving him some minutes a bit later on today might be a wise thing as well. Again, just to show the fans at Fratton Park what our youngsters can provide.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Havant and Waterlooville game was made up mainly of academy players and young pros, and they went there and did very well against the strong Havant side. And to see Harry on the bench today, hopefully he can get on. The other one I'd like to mention is Bauer. Is that how you say his name?
Ivan Bauer.
Yeah, because obviously last year he had a horrendous injury, and he's now making his way back. And to see him on the bench and to see him out there today would be amazing.
He's played for the club for pretty much a whole year, and he made his debut a couple of weeks ago in pre-season.
Yeah, he's had a tough time, the kid. So it'd be great to see him out there today. And this is why the Fratton Park friend is important, George. Those types of players who haven't experienced it. It's not going to be full Fratton today, let's get it right, because it'll take a couple of weeks for it to warm up here, but in a pre-season friendly it'll be different, but it'll give the players a little inkling of what's to come.
Yeah, so we think Segachich will play out wide on the right to start off with Lang as the 10, maybe John Swift playing as more of a holding midfielder along with Dazal. Is that how you see it this afternoon?
There could be two shifts. They could play Dazal as a holder and Swifty alongside Langy, maybe a bit more. It all depends which way he goes with it, George. But I think I think probably he'll go that way, because that's the way he's been doing it. So Swifty alongside Dazal. Yeah.
And John Swift returning to Portsmouth, where he was born. Never had a stint really with the club. This is going to be a special season for him, isn't it? Because we saw what it meant last year with Matt Ritchie. We know what it means with Marlon Pack. John Smith, another local lad in through the door.
Yeah, the local boys understand it. It's in their veins. Me and Mark came through the system. Mark from Basingstoke, me from Worcester. So not really Pompey boys, but we know enough Pompey boys who have come through and been apprentices with us and young pros with us. And for them lads to play out here, for us it was amazing, let alone the lads who were born here and raised here. So for John, it'll be a big day for him today. He'll love pulling on that blue shirt, and I wish him all the very best. And I think he's an astute signing. Probably the standout one so far.
And very experienced in the Championship as well, which is good to see. Mark, let's discuss the opposition. PEC Zwolle finished 10th in the Eredivisie last season. This is their team for this afternoon. Talk us through some of the standout players for them and what we can expect.
Yeah, so I think Dylan Mbayo is very quick, rapid winger. He's probably on their top. McNulty is an interesting one. I don't know if he's there, if he's playing, but
number 4 from the top there.
Yeah, McNulty's Spanish-Irish. He's part of the Republic of Ireland. I think his mum's Spanish, so that's where he comes from.
He's been capped, hasn't he, for the Republic of Ireland under 21s?
Yeah, so he'll be there to see. Simon Graves, obviously. I mean, listen, the great thing about them, they've got a high standing. They've been in the Udinese a long time. You know, they're an established club out there. As I said, they finished 10th last year. So they'll go and give us something. It's interesting the way that Dutch do it. They're very young. They'll be a developing team. That's what Dutch football is. But they'll be bright, they'll be vibrant, and probably the average age will probably be about 22, 23, because that's what's happening in Dutch football at the moment.
And let's talk about their following today, Andy. I can see them just over your shoulder there. They haven't brought many in numbers, as you'd expect. It's a pre-season friendly, and you can see them on the screen now. They've come all the way from the Netherlands to watch their team at a pre-season friendly. They're definitely louder than certain away followings that we saw last season. They're making themselves heard over there, aren't they?
Yeah, they woke us up anyway when they came in, definitely. So I'm waiting for Johnny Westwood and his gang to come in to put them in their place, to be honest with you, George. But no, they've come all the way, and it's a great opportunity for them to come over. It's not that far, is it? Jump on the Eurostar, I guess, in Inyakum, but
it's a good day out. I've heard they've been drinking beforehand in the Nell Gwyn. So
How dare they? But
they're seeing the Pompey sights.
They'll love it.
They'll
love it. They'll probably stay tonight and go home tomorrow and have a great night out in Pompey. And as long as they don't win, they'll be made to feel very welcome in Southsea this evening, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we've seen the team use them for this afternoon. Some of those new players starting on the bench, some in that starting 11. But now let's begin with the departures that we've seen over the summer. So a few players have left following on from last season. Cassini Yengi has signed for Aberdeen after a difficult season here on the South Coast. Hull scoring hero Christian Sadie has put pen to paper for a 3-year deal at Wigan Athletic. Paddy Lane, who scored 14 goals in 84 appearances for Pompey, is heading to Reading. And the always popular Riley Towler, who struggled for minutes last season, has a new contract with Lincoln City. Meanwhile, Matt Ritchie and Abdoulaye Kamara's departures are confirmed as impending by John Messino. And Cohen Bramall, Tom Lowry, Alexander Milosevic and Anthony Scully are all released from their contracts. Andy, some of those names we mentioned there, some big characters in the dressing room that have been moved on. How difficult is it to overcome that and find replacements in that respect, as well as on the pitch as well?
Well, the first thing I'd say, George, in my opinion, none of them would be in John's first 11. If he had everyone fit and he was picking his strongest side, I don't think any of them are in his starting 11. Maybe Matt Ritchie would be the exception to that rule. So I understand the moving on of players, and you have to keep it fresh. But yeah, you've got some big personalities in there, Matt especially. Cass was another one I know, and that'd have been tough. That'd have been tough for the football club to reach those decisions. But you have to do what you have to do, and that's where it is.
And for those players as well, the right move. They want to go and play regular football elsewhere,
want to play,
and they'll get that.
They want to play, and fair play to them as well. They want to play football. It's easy to sit there on your contract if you've got a year or two left and pick the money up. But if you're not playing, players should want to play. And Matt's a shining example of that. I think he's had a conversation with the club, and he's going to go if he can find a club, which is fine.
Yeah, and with Matt Ritchie, somebody you knew well on a personal level, how's he feeling about the move? Because obviously he gave it everything last season. All very amicable in the end, his departure. But hopefully he can get the minutes elsewhere that he craves.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as Andy rightly said, you know, when you're part of a group or part of a team, you've got to feel like you're moving forwards. And Matty wanted to make a decision for himself. He's coming to the twilight of his career, I suppose.
He'll love you for saying that.
No, but that's true. That's where, you know, hopefully he's got a couple of seasons left, and he'll want to think that he can get on the pitch and play. And as Andy rightly said, every player wants to do that, and it's a mark of him as well, because he's a senior player, you know, and he just wants to be involved every week, every game. And, you know, your career finishes quite quickly, George. So, you know, it's one of those things that you have to make decisions. But if you look at like Riley Tower, he's a young developing centre half. If you look at Shaughnessy and Paul, would he get in front? No. So he's got to go and learn his craft, learn the game, and go and get some minutes somewhere. So these are, you know, they're right decisions at the end of the day, if that's where players and the club actually think we've got more established players.
Yeah, so that's the departures then. Let's turn to the arrivals. Some new faces in through the door this summer, and still a month left on the transfer window too, so we could see more. But for now, another Aussie joins the ranks. Pompey's first signing of the season, Adrian Segacic, and local lad John Swift joins after departing West Brom at the end of last season. The experienced midfielder has nearly 350 championship appearances under his belt, and the midfield ranks have been bolstered as well by Hungarian Mark Kozhnowski and South Africa's Luke Laru. Plus, Harry Clout of the Portsmouth Academy has signed his first professional senior contract, and on Thursday night, forward Florian Bianchini became the first loanee of the season, joining from Swansea. So Andy, a lot going on there, especially in midfield, giving John a lot to think about with just a week to go until the season starts. Also some additions up top as well, with Bianchini coming in.
Yeah, definitely. The two I know is Swift and Florian, obviously, because they've played in this league before. The others I don't really know. And fair play to the recruitment staff, they've gone out of their way and looked at different options again. Young Harry, I don't expect him to make too much of an impact this year. If he does all right, he'll be out on loan probably. So, yeah, let's wait and see, George. Let's see how they go.
And with Harry Clout, Mark, seeing him sign his first professional contract at Portsmouth, that's a big step for him, isn't it? And his personal development.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big achievement for him already. Now he's got to go and learn his trade. It'll be brilliant being around some of the senior players today. You learn so much when you're in and around it, so it'll be a massive experience for him today. And if he can get some minutes towards the end, which you'd like to think that John may be able to do that in a game like this, because there'll be a young developing team themselves. It's only going to be experience for him.
That's it, exactly. So get your thoughts in, Pompey fans. We've heard from Andy and Mark. We want to hear from you now. Tell us what you think about the team news today, the transfer activity as well. We always want your thoughts at home, everything Pompey. We can't take your calls, but send us your video messages, videos, voice notes and your pictures via WhatsApp 07457 413 694. That QR code on your screen will take you straight through to, and is at Pompey on X. So let's hear from one of the newest boys in blue now, the South African Luke Laru. We spoke to him earlier on this week. Please note though, this next interview contains some flash photography.
Look, as a young kid growing up in South Africa, you always want to play in England. This is always the kind of leagues that you watch as a young kid, so it was always a dream for me to be here. And when this move came about, it was definitely something I didn't have to think twice about, so really excited to be here. It's hard to put into words. I still pinch myself here and there, it's something really big for me, something that I've been working for throughout my career. My agent informed me about it, and then we had a meeting with the head coach and sporting director, and one meeting was all it took. I don't think anyone can come out of that meeting and not want to join Portsmouth. So it was really a successful meeting, and how he saw me as a player, how he saw me fitting into the team, what I will add to the team, and just my contribution, and no matter how small it will be, because every player can bring something small which will add to something big eventually. I started playing football at the age of 4. I started playing in Stellenbosch. I'm born and raised in Stellenbosch, so I played for local clubs in Stellenbosch. Then at the age of 17, I actually signed my first professional contract. I moved to Europe at the age of 20, in 2020, and I moved to Sweden. Played 3 years in Sweden. I went 1 year to Netherlands. I think it was in 2022. I made my first cap for the national team, so that's probably the highlight of my career this fall. Oh, it was really the best feeling. I couldn't believe it at that time. I didn't expect it at that time. I've been hoping for it, I've been working for it, but I didn't think it would come at that time. The South African coach contacted me and said, look, there's a possibility you might be in the final squad. So they announced the squad, and then I actually found out on the TV that my name was announced. I was part of the team, and it was really happy and a proud moment for me and my family. I think the league is quite unpredictable. Anything can happen. It's quite tough, it's quite intense, and I really hope that we can have a good season. We're still in pre-season now, and I believe we will do our best to have a really good season, better than last season. And just expecting to have good games against good opponents every week, week in, week out.
So we may see a bit of the new boy a bit later on, who's starting on the bench today. Not long to go now. And Andy, today's opposition then, we've touched on them. Let's talk about them in a bit more detail. A very consistent side over the years.
Yeah, they've remained in the top Dutch league. How do you say it, Kel, that league?
Udinese.
He's good at that, Kel.
See, I'd go for Eredivisie.
Yeah, I haven't got a clue. And they've been in that league for donkey's years. They're very, very established in the top tier in Holland, and they've managed to win a cup occasionally. And yeah, this to me is an interesting test today. Pompey, I think, have hand-picked teams. It's been difficult this year to organise your pre-season as well, because Division 1 and 2 has already started, so you're not going to be able to play those teams. Premier League are all abroad, so you've got to go. Yeah, so you've got to go for foreign opposition. I think Pompey have picked a very, very strong side to to come up against today. This will be a real test, in my opinion.
Yeah, and this is the first friendly at Fratton Park we've seen since July 2022, so 3 years. That game, we played Coventry. We lost 2-0 to Coventry on the day, and a certain Victor Jokeres was on the score sheet for Coventry, so there you go.
It's gone for a few quid now.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's he up to these days? But it's good to see this, isn't it, at Fratton again. A nice little warm-up for the real thing, the curtain raiser next week, and it's great for the fans, isn't it, as well?
Absolutely, I think it's a great game for the fans to come and see. It's something different, be completely different to what they see week in, week out, and, hopefully we'll see a young, vibrant Dutch team come and try and give us a game this afternoon.
And Andy, obviously, you're a dedicated follower of fashion. I mean, come on, all three of us today have accidentally turned up in the same
outfit. We've got here, by the way.
But we're going to see the new kit out there for the first time today. As a player, what's it like putting on a new kit for the season?
Kel? It's always exciting when you get that new kit, and a couple of times you get asked to be the person to do the modelling of it or what have you in the lead up. But yeah,
they didn't ask you this season.
Never, no, they didn't ask me ever. Don't worry about that. But no, it's always nice when you pull on that new kit, and then you see the new away kit as well and stuff. So yeah, it's always an exciting time when you get that. Obviously, we're always blue, white, red, but there's always a little twist to it, isn't there? So it's always nice.
Yeah, I told you he liked his fashion. Let's have a look at your thoughts then at home. Daniel and Max watching from Brisbane, Australia. Come on, Pompey. Jack, really looking forward to the season starting. Exciting to see how the new signings will bed into the Portsmouth family. I think a top 10 finish or better this season is on the cards. So guys, we haven't got long. Get your predictions in. We want to hear from you two now. What are we saying the score's going to be today?
I think Pompey will continue with a clean sheet. I think it'll be 2-0 to Pompey.
Mark?
I'm going 2-1 Pompey.
A 2-0 and a 2-1. Here we go then. For the first time since May, Fratton Park is just about to get that little bit louder. And again, if you're watching on the socials, coverage will end. If you want to stick with us for the afternoon for full live coverage, and we'll be back at half-time as well, and full-time, get yourself a match pass on the Pompey website. But now it's time to hand you over to our commentator, Niall McCorn, as the Blues take on the Blue Fingers.